Hello everyone, so welcome back. So let's see what we have here. E to the x times cosine x. Now what's the trick here? What is going on here? Let's start the problem. So integration by parts. We have an I forgot what type of function is this. Exponential. My bad, sorry. And trigonometry. So what is u? Okay, u is, well, cosine x, right? T comes before e. Dv is e to the x dx. Okay, now we need du over dx. Derivative of cosine is negative sine. Yes, so du is negative sine x dx. Okay, and we need dv. We need v. So v is integral of e to the x is e to the x. Okay, so we have everything we need. Let's use the formula uv minus integral v du. U is cosine x, v is e to the x, so this is e to the x cosine x minus v is e to the x. Du is negative sine x, so it's negative sine x dx. Now what we can do here is we can take this negative to outside and write it as plus. Okay, now we have to integrate this one. It's again a complicated integral, right? Integration by parts did not provide us a simpler integral here, but we already saw this scenario in the last video, right? We can get a complicated integral, but hopefully that's a less complicated than what we started with. Okay, so let's do integration by parts again. So let's think that e to the x sine x as a new integral and integrate it. So u is again going to be sine x, dv is e to the x dx, du over dx is cosine x, here derivative of sine is cosine, v is e to the x. Now du, that means cosine x dx. So again we have the tools that we need. Alright, now here the formula is again uv minus v du. So u is sine x, v is e to the x, so let's write it here, ex sine x minus v is e to the x, du is cosine x dx. So what we have is e to the x sine x minus e to the x cosine x. Okay, now let's look at this integral. Okay, did we get a simpler integral? No way, we got another non-simpler integral, right? This is not simple. You can't use basic integration here also, but we know we don't need to panic because there can be questions where I have to use integration by parts 3 times 4 times. But hang on a second, let's really look at this problem. Am I going to ever finish this problem if I'm going to keep integrate that? Because look at the nature of this problem. My u is cosine and sine, and my dv is e to the x. It's going to switch, like cosine, the choice of u switch from cosine to sine here. Ex didn't change, and guess what you're gonna get next time? You're gonna get, when you integrate this one, you're gonna get e to the x sine x to integrate. It's going to go forever like a loop. Okay, if you can see what's going on here. We started with e to the x cosine x. Now we got e to the x sine x. Now when you integrate e to the x sine x, you got e to the x cosine x. Now hang on a second. This is the one we just integrated. Then you should again get e to the x sine x. Then you will again get e to the x cosine x. So it's going to go forever. So how do we end this loop? Now this is a special category, another category where no matter how many times you do integration by parts, you are stuck in a loop. Okay, so how do you end this? This is like the Doctor Strange movie, right? If you have watched the Doctor Strange movie, the first Doctor Strange movie, the villain and the Doctor Strange is stuck in a time loop, right, at the end of the movie. So it's same like here. I thought it's just it's a funny example, but anyway, how can we end the loop? Well, we can't sacrifice our life like Doctor Strange. So let's see what's going on. Now look at what I'm gonna do. We have to integrate e to the x cosine x. That's where we started with. What did we get? We get e to the x cosine x plus this integral. But if we integrate that one, what we got is e to the x sine x minus e to the x cosine x. Now this repeating integral, this repeating loop has an interesting property, because look what we started with. We started with hoping to integrate e to the x cosine x. But now look what we have here, e to the x cosine x, but minus. Think about this one. X minus 2 is x. Okay, now what is x? Or x is equal to, let's say it like this. X is equal to 2 minus x. What is x? How can you solve this? Let's take the x to the other side. So it's 2x equal to 2. X is 1. We can do the same here, but think these two as x. Now see what I'm going to do. Here we have e to the x cosine x dx. I'm going to take this integral to the left, plus e to the x cosine x dx is equal to, what we have here is e to the x cosine x plus e to the x sine x. Okay, let's have a plus c from constant from integration from here. Okay, all right. Now these two are same. So this is 2 e to the x cosine x. Yes, we can do that for integral because those are the same copy of same integral. So there are 2 copies, right? So it's like 2 oranges. So 2 integrals. Okay. Now do you see how we get the answer? Well, let's divide by 2. Why 2? Well, let's take this 2 to the other side. So if you divide by 2, this is the solution for the integral that we start with. Okay, because in the right hand side you don't have any integrals. That's the trick. So that's a special trick. This is a special type of category. When you are stuck in a loop that is never ending in integration by parts, be careful and be watchful. Be watchful whether you get the same integral as you started with on the right hand side. Be watchful for that. Okay, and then if it is so, you can trade this term to the left hand side and make 2 copies or 3 copies, no matter how many copies you have. Okay, and then you can get the answer. Okay, this is a special type of problem. So I will give you one problem to practice by yourself, a similar one, but the best way to learn these all kind of tricks is to do more and more problems. Now what is my advice for that? Google, try to find documents, try to see example problems, solve as much as problems, do your homework, try to look for patterns. When you get used to that, it will someday become your second nature. But to do that, you have to solve many problems. Okay, I don't know how to do these problems when I learn integration by parts for the first time. If I were given this problem all of a sudden for the first time, definitely I cannot see how to solve this problem. I might not see this. Okay, so don't get worried. Solve a lot of problems. Give yourself time to see lots of different types of problems in integration by parts. It will come to you very soon. Okay, all right. So unfortunately there are more tricks to be addressed, so hopefully I will catch you in the next few videos. Okay, bye bye.